Good morning. It is Wednesday, January 8th. I took a vacation day today, to relax and calm down and just take some time. And also I've got movies I want to see that I've just not had time to see. And so that's something I wanted to work on. So right now it's morning and I'm headed up to the theater for a 9:50 a.m. showing of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, because I haven't seen the new Star Wars yet. I'm like, come on, man. What's up? I gotta go see the new Star Wars, so that's what I'll be headed to do. So yeah. Of course, as I see a movie, I talk about it afterwards, so spoilers. Definitely spoilers if you haven't seen it, but well, should be fun. As a good movie. So, episode 9 at last. I guess finishing the Skywalker series? At least per my original thought of how things would go. But it's not gonna head 4 out of 5. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Really great. Yeah. And of course, spoilers. Probably one of the biggest deterrents from it is, well, I loved episode 8 as well. This felt like it had to basically adjust course because episode 8 was so antagonistic from the cohesive story of 7, 8, 9. Like it had just thrown a bunch of wrenches in the works, and this did great, but it definitely had to do extra work because it wasn't a cohesive story between all three of them. It was, kind of thrown off and had to get back, and they used stuff from it wonderfully. Yeah, some of the force powers, bringing in force healing, which as someone that played, the games, growing up, it was cool to see some of those introduced. Making Rey a Palpatine, brilliant. Again, cohesive story, matching the old plot. Would have been such a great reveal right there at the end of 8. Would have been, obviously 8 would have been a completely different story at that point, but I mean, just as far as that, and then from that moment, yeah, definitely could have had things go differently. But whatever, they threw a different director into the second one, did things their own way, had to redirect, get back on course. Abrams does well. I like Abrams, how he's done the Star Wars movies he did, so there's that. Now I gotta say, there wasn't the coolest of action fight scenes in it, but there were a lot of cool space scenes. Those, basically we didn't get 8's cool lightsaber battle, but it had a lot more of an emotional climate. We got to see Ben and Rey kiss at the end, and that, for someone that, enjoys shipping characters at least a little bit, that was nice. I don't know. My brain's all a tither. Because, man, I mean, it's an epic movie. It spans galaxies. Wow. Huge. I mean, were all of those people in that place Sith? Were they mentally projecting themselves in from somewhere else? If so, are there those Sith there? And she took the name Skywalker at the end. Is there going to be another trilogy? Kind of hope so. Maybe in 15 years, start the next one when she's older. I hope so. Who knows, though? I mean, she took the name Skywalker at the end, which means it doesn't have to be the end of the Skywalker story, because that's obviously the numbered episodes are Skywalker's story. And I guess to some extent, Palpatine's, if they end here. yeah, for some of the things that they changed and redirected, they pulled it off. I'd heard bits and done my best to avoid spoilers, but like, I kind of guessed that was who she was because, was it Christmas? People were talking, and they were trying not to spoil things. Like, they said things like, well, we know she's not a Skywalker because we know who she is. Which I'm like, dude, spoilers. I'm like, I didn't say who she is. And I'm like, yeah, but you said she's not a Skywalker. Which, you know, that alone tells me, you know, redirected my thoughts going in. And then really when you think about, well, who is she that would be important? She's not a Skywalker. We know she's not a Solo. We knew Palpatine was in this one from the previews. I kind of guessed. But still, they pulled it off great. What was the little guy that worked on the droids? He was awesome. The little cute one. That guy was so cute. He was wonderful. I haven't seen any Mandalorian, and I know the internet went to there with whatever the alien that looks like a baby Yoda in that one, but whatever. This dude that worked on the droids, great. Wreckage of the Death Star, I guess would be Death Star 2 since it was in the Endor system. Great. The coincidence of they're standing at the right point on the hill where that dagger matches up with that part of the ship. Amazing coincidence. But in general, it was fun. And that's the thing with Star Wars. They're fun. And it succeeded at being fun, I'll give it that. Now, it's wonderful it would be just to relax and sort of digest the fun time I had at the movie. I'm not done with movies. Not today. Today's a double feature. Not really, but I mean, I'm not here. I came here to the Marcus Theater, saw the movie. It's actually cheaper, apparently, going this early in the day. It wasn't bad. But just looking at times of different movies I wanted to see, I actually have to combine 2 different theaters, so I'll be driving to another theater, an AMC theater, which is great, because I got a pass for a free movie there. I've had for a while. I have a few of them. But, you know, you just gotta make the times work, so you use them when that's where you go. As great as Star Wars was, I'm now gonna go check out Jumanji. Another sequel. Let's check it out. Alright, and out of movie 2, Jumanji, The Next Level. Again, another good movie, another 4 out of 5, which brings to mind, before necessarily discussing the movie itself, to bring up sort of my mindset with rating movies, because I give a lot of 4s. And basically the idea behind it is, if I don't think it's going to be what, I kind of have mindsets with where those rankings are. And I've definitely had a few that I've gone and seen and they weren't as good, and a couple that were better. I never expect a movie to get a 5 out of 5. That's perfect. It's got to be a perfect movie. There are very few. But if I'm not thinking it's going to be of the quality of enough enjoyment that I would give it a 4, from whatever I have looked into it to make the decision to go see it, if I don't think it's going to at least be that good, I'm not going to go see it. So generally, if it gets less than a 4, I've kind of been disappointed. It wasn't as good as I would have hoped. So that's generally why you get a lot of those for me. It's because that's, you know, a 4 or 5. I'm glad I went and saw it, and that's, you know, it's met my expectations. Anyways, the movie Jumanji: The Next Level. It started things off. Clearly some time had passed, and things weren't going as good as, you know, things were all so happy at the end of the last one. Which, of course, they had to go bad. Why would Spencer go back in if things hadn't gone wrong? But he did. I loved really, one of the things I love most is some of the things that they kept secret through the trailers. Some of the careful, cuts that they have where, like, one more frame in that trailer and you would have had things spoiled. But yeah, having a couple extra characters, the horse and the cat burglar, of course, because in my mind, well, we would only need the one extra. We knew the horse, because it would only be, the two grandparents going in. But they get back, and I forget his name, but the guy that's that had been in there since what, the 80s? And he got out, he had a family. She went and got him back. He volunteered to go in. He wasn't one of the friends. He just knew what was going on and it was like, yeah, it's the right thing to do. It's a good guy. Really, it's got two stories. And there's, of course, the plot and the game and all that action stuff. That's cool. And it's cool and it's funny. And it's fun to see the actors playing, whether it's old guys or teenage girls or whatever it is that they're playing that's not the kind of role they're usually playing. It's fun. But the stories are Eddie and Milo, the old guys who used to run a restaurant together and basically have, used to be good friends, but ended up kind of broken apart after one of them got old enough that he had to retire and it lost the other one the business. And sort of that reconciliation and sort of rekindling of an old friendship. And then on the other end was the reconciliation of our romantic interest, our romantic relationship from the last time. Things had messed up because Spencer's insecure, basically. But just sort of that getting to talk things out, and I mean, really, the dude's got to work something out. The fact that he has an easier time talking when he's, The Rock, is a bit of an issue for them long term in that romantic relationship, but still, the fact that they managed to sort things out and get back together is still sweet. It didn't have the same sweet thing that it had in the first one, where they were that nerdy, dweeby high school kids. They're a little older, a little cooler, so didn't quite connect the same. But it was still made me happy for them to get back together. It was fun. And then we get the end. Jumanji 4. Yes. 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 You see, the thing is, and there was that mid-roll scene, and they touched the repair guy touched the game system. Now, you didn't get to see him or Spencer's mom get sucked into the game, although that could have happened. What we saw was ostriches running down the street. If you recall, the original Jumanji was a board game. And when the wrong, die was rolled, Alan Parrish may have gotten sucked into the game for quite some time. That wasn't the majority of the movie, or the majority of the way the game worked. The game was out in the real world. It was affecting reality. Seeing those ostriches run down the street could very well mean that now our little group of friends who made their agreement, let's never go back in the game. But what if the game came out for them? Which does two things. One, it says, hey, do we get a Jumanji 4, please? Yes. And two, it may say, maybe it's not, you know, Kevin Hart, Ed The Rock, Jack Black, Karen Gillan. Maybe they're not the stars of the next movie. Maybe it's the kids, because it's out in the real world, and so they're having to deal with this stuff as themselves. And I just gotta say, I think that would be an amazing movie. I would love to see that. They know Jumanji, they know the world, but now they have their own resources, themselves, their own abilities. They don't got the ability to do dance fighting and zoology and smoldering or talking to animals or reading otherwise invisible maps. They have themselves, and that could be interesting. I don't know what they'll do, but I'm hopeful. Anyways, great movie. I think before going home, I'm gonna try and get a thing or two at Sam's Club. First, to grab a bite to eat, and then to get a few groceries. I'm just getting 1 case of water because I don't want to have to carry more than that in. And then I was gonna get some tomato soup because I'm low, but they only seem to have a couple different options of chicken noodle. So, oh no, whatever will I do? We're good. It just got moved to an end cap. Day is safe. And also I'm gonna spend what I usually spend on like half of a week's groceries on some snacks. Because I used to do it all the time, and it's been possibly more than a year, if not then close to a year, and I'm like, I want it. I want to get some snacks. I miss them. So it's okay to waste money on things like that occasionally, and this seems like the occasion to do it. And I'm home at last. I've basically been out for like 7.5 hours, so nearly a work day length of time. But I did also get, like I said, a few things from Sam, so it wasn't just watching movies, but it was mostly just out watching movies and the time between them. But I had a couple of movies that I've been wanting to see, and I'm looking ahead and I'm like, there's a few other movies coming out that I'd kind of like to see, and I'm like, if they build up too much, I'm going to miss more. You know, there were some that I wanted to see, was it like last summer, and I missed quite a few. I'm just like, let's just go. So I did. So I turned it into a bit of a double feature day. But I'm home. I'm going to try and do a little bit of editing, but I did get I've gotten a few texts from Stacey today, and it sounds like we're going to get another phone call this evening. I'll get to talk to her some more. So it's turning out to be quite a good vacation day. And as the call time gets near, at that time. Hello? And another 2.5 hours talking with her was quite enjoyable. Starting to move beyond just getting to know her and a little more into being flirtatious and such. I'm enjoying it. Otherwise, I did make myself some dinner here, so I'll have that. And I'm gonna tidy some things up from that, get the vlog that I've almost finished editing finished and up, and then I'm headed to bed. I do have to go back to work tomorrow, but just 2 more days, and then I got my actual weekend, so taking this day off in the middle of the week probably worked pretty well for that. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues.